Hi guys, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back and seeing another video. And if you're new here, thank you for taking the time to click on this video and check my channel out. If you want to, feel free to subscribe if you like my videos and you want to see more of them, and give this one a thumbs up if you like it. This video today is going to be my tips on helping prevent a panic attack and dealing with anxiety in general. Just a quick brief on my history with anxiety. I had anxiety my whole life. It's been passed down, it's in my family, and right around 18 is when my panic disorder hit. So I had generalized anxiety, I had anxiety in my life, and then out of nowhere panic attack started happening. I had my first panic attack when I tried birth control for the first time. I have a whole video on that. I will leave it linked down below, and any other anxiety help videos that I've made in the past down below. And ever since that point in my life, that's when I developed panic disorder, I started to struggle with panic attacks. It turned into agoraphobia. I got into a really dark space where I couldn't leave my house for a couple months, and it was a really tough time. I still struggle with anxiety and panic attacks to this day, but with coping methods and no medication ever, I have found kind of like my own way of handling it and dealing with it and taking baby steps to grow to be able to handle things better than I have in the past. Am I 100% cured of panic disorder? No, like it's something I'm always going to have, but there's just some certain tips and tricks to help stop panic attacks, reduce them, and cope with them when you feel them. So this is going to be my video giving you some tips and tricks on how to deal with it. Let's just get started before I keep going on and on and on. And a disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, ain't none of that stuff. I'm just giving you my personal advice from my personal experience. So let's just get into it. My first and number one tip would be to reach out to a friend when you're feeling anxiety, high anxiety, like you're gonna freak out, like you're having a panic attack. Even if you're having anxiety in general, reach out to someone. And this might be hard to do, but I've found that as long as you just get that little push to just type even a text message, give someone a call, tell them exactly how you're feeling, it kind of helps rationalize it. That person can rationalize and say, no, like you're just feeling this because of this, and they can help you. Or even just getting it off your chest lifts the weight at least 40% for me. Basically just have a panic buddy. My sister suffers from the same thing, so I can go to her and she will totally understand. And even if someone doesn't fully understand, as long as you're able to talk to them and they want to listen, that's a huge, huge help. My tip number two is, if you have nobody available to talk to when you're panicking or when you're about to panic, is to write down how you feel exactly. And you can throw this out and crumple it up and burn it later because you don't want to look back at it. Maybe you don't, maybe you do for reference, but writing out your thoughts on paper will help your mind do the rationalizing for you. Write out how you feel, write out why you're feeling like that, and then you can read it and kind of be like, this doesn't make sense, I'm fine, and just help figure it out that way and get it on paper and put that out there and get it out of your head. So sleep and anxiety usually go hand in hand with me. If I don't get a good night's sleep, I don't handle my anxiety the next day as well as I could and should. So I try to always make sure that I'm getting at least 6 hours and I'm getting a well-rested sleep. Now that's not the easiest thing to do. It's easier said than done to say that I'm gonna go to bed and I'm gonna get a good night's sleep, gonna get 6 hours, 8 hours tonight. Like if you have anxiety, you're probably up for hours with your mind racing, thinking about things that are never gonna happen. So one of the tools that I found that helped me a lot with getting a good night's rest, putting me to bed, helping my anxiety, is using a weighted blanket. You've probably heard of these. They're a great anxiety tool, a natural remedy for anxiety, and I am here to show you my weighted blanket today. And this is by a brand called Y&M, and you can find them on Amazon, and I'll link their website down below as well. They sell weighted blankets, they sell them in different materials, 100% cotton. The one that I have over here on the bed, if you can see this, I'll show you a close-up as well. It is 100% bamboo on the outside, so it's good for summer and it's good for if you're a sleeper that gets like warm easy because a weighted blanket is a little heavier than a regular blanket, a lot heavier. So if you overheat easily, the bamboo is good because it's cooling. So the blanket that I use is the YNM 15-pound twin size blanket, and I got the twin size to fit my body, not my mattress. You can get it in a bigger size to fit your mattress, but it's really meant to just fit your body. So the 15-pound is good for my weight and my height. It's not too heavy, but it still gives me that really secure feeling. And each of these squares are filled with little non-toxic, hypoallergenic, odorless glass beads, and those glass beads help evenly distribute the weight throughout the whole blanket. So this has been my favorite weighted blanket ever. It's so helpful. It's helped me sleep at night. It just gives you the feeling like you're being hugged or cuddled. It's an indescribable feeling until you try a weighted blanket, honestly. And these are my favorite weighted blankets because of how soft and comfortable they are. And they do also offer covers, so you can throw your 15-pound weighted blanket on gentle in your washing machine, or you can take it to the dry cleaners to get cleaned. But I just think it's the easiest option to get a cover for it. And they sell soft minky covers, they sell different color covers. You can get the blankets in different colors as well. And on the inside there's loops so you can keep the cover and the blanket like from slipping from each other. It keeps it nice and secure. I'll leave all links down below for YNM's weighted blankets, and I definitely recommend you check them out because it has changed my sleeping experience. My fourth tip for preventing a panic attack or stopping it in its tracks would be to think of the 5 senses. Wherever you are, wherever room you may be in, might be outside, wherever it's happening, stop and think of the 5 senses. Think of one thing that you can smell, you can hear, you can see, you can taste, you can feel, and really hone into those things. So it's like, okay, I see a remote control. It has 2 red buttons, 3 blue buttons, this circle button in the middle. Just start focusing and putting that attention into littler things that don't have to do with whatever your brain is telling you is gonna happen to you. That's not. I found that this coping skill like really helps distract you. So if you're a person that benefits from distracting yourself to prevent a panic attack, this is a really helpful tip that I've found. There's other things you can do. You can count backwards or do whatever, but I found that this works the best for me. My 5th tip is to carry essential oils with you so that if you get uncomfortable, there's certain smells. I mean, these could work for some people, they don't work for others. Depends on the person you are, but I feel like for a majority of people, they do work. For me at least, peppermint oil, and my sister as well. If we get anxious, we usually have like a little thing of peppermint oil. I have a roller bowl. My sister has a spray, a little spray bottle that she keeps in her purse, and you spray it on the back of your neck or keep it on your temples. And just that feeling, that cooling feeling, because you know, sometimes when you start to get really panicky, you get really hot and like you start to feel suffocated. But that kind of, it actually keeps like a focus on that tingling feeling. It kind of resets your mind and focuses on that a little more. Redirects it, and then also cools you down. Another essential oil, obviously a lot of people know lavender. There's a lot of essential oils for anxiety. Make your own blend, buy a blend, and keep a little bottle in your bag or wherever, your pocket, and smell it, put it under your nose, put it on your wrist, take a little sniff, and then just do breathing exercises and remember your breathing. And everyone has their own breathing exercises that work for them. I personally kind of just make my own up as I go. I couldn't really tell you what they are, but just breathing deeply and just trying to sniff something and use those senses to take away from your wandering mind always helps. My 6th tip, and definitely not all the tips that I can think of because I'll definitely have to make another video with more, but this would be to get closer to the ground. This is one thing that personally helps me. It might not help you, but I figured I would say it anyway, is it always makes me feel more grounded to just get closer to the ground for some reason if I feel like I'm on the edge of getting to that panic level. So this is the stage where you can actually do something and try to prevent it from happening. This is like when you have the ability to stop it. It goes from having that little kind of funny feeling like something's wrong, and then it starts to build up. And before it starts to build up, that middle stage is your chance to take control and stop it in its tracks. So one thing that helps me is standing up and touching my toes, like doing that stretch and kind of having my head inverted really just helps me breathe better for some reason. I can focus on my breathing a little bit. It resets me if I've been sitting in one spot for a while, and that's why I'm getting anxious. Child's pose is a really good pose for anxiety. For me, I found that if I'm panicking or I'm about to panic, just getting into that child's pose and breathing really helps. You don't have to know yoga, you don't have to do yoga, but just getting into that position is really beneficial when you're feeling super heightened. And just getting low to the ground, like I said, just sitting on the ground, maybe kind of pulling your knees to your chest, taking a deep breath. And another thing that it sounds really weird, but it always helps if I'm like at a concert or somewhere where I can't like just sit down and get low to the ground, or else it look really weird, is to stand on the ground. Obviously your feet are on the ground, but you're gonna really focus on your feet and the ground connecting together. This is gonna sound like real deep and weird right now. It sounds like it makes no sense, but I try to picture my feet as like a tree growing roots into the ground. And then that energy being focused towards being grounded helps me calm down a little. All right, guys, those are my 6 tips for helping prevent and stop a panic attack in its tracks. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might find it helpful as well. Check out Y&M's weighted blankets. I'll leave the links down below. I highly recommend checking out a weighted blanket. It's such an amazing anxiety and depression natural mental health tool. And subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos and you haven't already. Press that notification bell down below to be reminded every time I post a new video so you don't miss one. And I will see you in my next one. Bye!